Hello, welcome to the Morning Brew with your girl Germaine. And so, you know what today is? Today is Authors Brew Friday. And so, yes, we do have a special guest in studio with us today. And you might be a little surprised when you find out who it is. But with that being said, I want to open up today's brew. The topic is going to be about 90-day book creation, a guide for writing and publishing your book in 90 days. So, if you are someone and you have a desire to be a published author, but you don't know where to start, this coffee brew is for you today. Okay. So make sure you get yourself together. You might want to get a pen, a pad, so you could take some notes. But this is definitely for you. But I want to open up first before we get started. So hold on one moment. I'm just going to pull up a little book trailer for you all to enjoy.
Embarking on the journey to authorship can feel overwhelming, but with the right plan, you can turn your dream into reality in just 90 days. This step-by-step guide walks you through every stage of book creation, from your first idea to holding your finished work. Learn how to write efficiently, edit with confidence, design a compelling cover, and navigate both traditional and self-publishing. Inside, you'll discover strategies to beat writer's block and stay productive, time management tips for busy schedules, a breakdown of traditional versus self-publishing to help you choose the right path, proven marketing and launch tactics for success, how to leverage AI tools to streamline the process. Your voice matters. 90-day book creation is your essential guide to writing, publishing, and sharing your story with the world. Start today and see your name on the spine of your own book.
Well, if you haven't guessed who the special guest today is, it's me. So, yes, I am the book publisher of HOV Publishing, and I too have published a book after listening over 17 years to really what people are looking for, what their needs are. So, I decided to do the 90-day book creation. And if you give me a second, what I want to do, I want to put up in the corner so it's always present on the screen. All right. So we have the 90-day book creation, and this is a 12-step guide for writing and publishing your book in 90 days. So now, I just want to go over a few things with you before we really get into this, because if you're someone that's chiming in and you have a desire to write a book, or you know someone that's in the process of writing or really want to write a book, then you know what? Why don't you come into why don't you come into the community with us and let us know? If you are one of HOV Publishing authors that has been a part of getting your book processed and published in 90 days, hey, why don't you chime in and just share a little bit about your experience as well? We would love to hear from you also. So, when I thought about it, I did have some people lined up to come on and be the author of the day, but some things may have fallen through. But you know what? It came to me. Wait a minute, you're an author as well, and your book is a how-to guide to help those who you represent and who you help get started on their journey to become a published best-selling author. So why not be your own guest in studio? So here I am. You have me today. And what we're going to do, you might want to get a pen, a pad, or maybe you just need to order one of our journals, the 90-day book creation, if you are in the process of putting your book together and you just need to know, okay, where do I start? What do I do? Let me get this book out of me, right? Give me a second. I'm going to pull some information up on the screen just so you have the link if you do decide that you want to go ahead and get started on this writing publishing journey. All right. So with that being said, let me just welcome a few people that's joining us in the studio today. We have Diana Knox Cooper. You all get this book. Thank you, Diana. So, Diana, make sure you go back to a previous Friday, Authors Brew Friday, and check out her actual conversation as she talks about her book. She's right now getting ready to get set up on her pre-sales for her new book and book number 3. And like she gave away some secrets that she will have a book for coming to after this. But Diana, thank you so much for chiming in and letting us know that yes, they need to get this book, right? Especially if you're someone that you really just want to go through the process on your own in the privacy of your own home. And you need a guide, you need a roadmap. So, this book, the 90-day book creation, is the perfect partner resource tool for you to be able to take you 12 steps through the entire process of getting your book into the market. Now, this is the good thing about that also. You never have to feel like you're going through this journey alone because not only did I just put a book together, but we also offer workshops, whereas you want someone to literally guide you through. You need a coach. And if you need a coach, hey, check us out. Make sure you go to the page so you can register. And we'll take you through the process of getting your book into the marketplace. Now, we also have Jessie Moss 92775. She said, you coming to Sacramento? You know what? Never been before, but that might be a trip on the horizon. So we might need to work something out, Jessie. All right. Um, Listen, we travel a lot, right? So, because one thing I realize, people have stories around the world. And the thing is, people just want to know how can I bring my story to the market? How can I generate revenue from my story? And so, with that, let me just walk through a few things that you're going to get. So, this is going to be a sneak peek inside, right? Now, you'll get a lot more if you go on and you register to come into our sessions, or if you just say, hey, I'd rather just bring you on as my publisher and you'll do all the heavy lifting for me, right? Right. So, what you're going to find, we have an introduction that you're going to be able to go through, and it's going to really talk about the importance of setting deadlines. Also, the advantages of a 90-day time frame. Now, most of you are probably thinking 90 days, that's only 3 months. Can I really get a book in the market in 3 months? Absolutely. Absolutely. Sometimes you just need a coach to help you through this process. Publishing, the great thing about publishing, especially today, you can independently self publish your book that will allow you to get your book in the market. Now, there's some things that you may not know. So, self publishing is really you figuring it out as you go along, the ups, the downs, the do's, the don'ts, to get your book in the market. And so, but you do have the right to publish your book, and it's become so much easier for you to get your book distributed through Amazon, as well as being able to walk through and handle all those things that will help you get your book completed. Now, with that, you're going to be totally responsible for everything, the whole entire process of getting your book in the market. Now, it's more to it than just saying, you know what, I wrote a manuscript. Yes, there is. Or there's more to it than say, you know what, I have this great book idea, but where do I start? I hear these questions all the time, right? Or you may think that, you know what, I don't know the first place to start. All I know is everybody's telling me I need to share my story. If any of those fit you, then you definitely need what I'm offering, okay, as a tool and a resource that you could just pick up and go to. So let me just go through what some of the topics are, the 12 steps, right? So, like I said in the introduction, you'll get a quick overview. And some of the things is the value of publishing quickly, the the myth and reality, the feasibility of the 90-day book creation or book journey. So, the first step is preparation and mindset. Now, I'm going to give a few jewels now because There's a lot of people out there that's waiting to get their book in the market. They just don't know where to start. So if I can give you any advice and help you along this journey, then you know what? Please take the notes and apply them. All right. So, preparation and mindset. Now, we all know mindset is so key. And if you don't know, I'm going to let you know. The mindset is the key to unlock all of this. So, it is so important for you to be able to be in the right mindset and defining your why. Let me say that again. Defining your why. The why is super important because if you don't know the reason behind why and the purpose for why you want to do this, then you may find it really hard to get started. So that's the first thing I would say for you is to really think about your why. And your why is yours. I can't give it to you. It's yours. Okay? All right. And so, in preparation and mindset, you're also going to think about your topic. What is the topic that you want to talk about? Setting measurable goals for yourself to get it done. And also, the foundation of a successful author. So, you'll learn all these things, setting clear goals and intentions, and cultivating daily writing habits, tools and resources, and efficient writing. So, remember, you can't put a book in the marketplace if you have not yet discovered what that story is going to be that you want to share with the marketplace, right? So, step two, we're going to talk about the planning of your book. So, we talk about mapping out your ideas and structuring your book for your chapter breakdowns. I always tell people if you're not sure what the book should consist of, then you know what? Start with an outline, which is a part of you mapping out what the story is going to be about. And books come in all different stories, all different blends, right? All different flavors. So you may have your autobiography, the book about your life that you want to tell. You may tell it in as a memoir, or you may have a children's story that you want to tell, and it could be based off of your life, right? So, one, I right now we're in the process of actually taking a book that someone wrote, and pretty much it was about at the foot of the Edmund Pettus Bridge, voter rights, right? Civil rights movement back in the 60s. And so what we did, we talked to her about taking her story and converting it over to a children's book. So now she reaches a whole new generation about the history and being able to educate them as her as a little girl through this story. So there's so many things that you can write about. Your story can be about a self-help guide. It can be an empowerment, affirmations, a journal. It can be whatever your heart's desire is. Okay? So be free in knowing that you don't have to write specifically about this or this or this. Right now, we're getting ready to publish a book coming to market actually next week. It's coming to market and it's about fantasy. It's almost like the Hunger Games. And so, along those lines, and we might be familiar with those movies, but it started with a book and it was adapted into a movie format. So, books can be about anything, it's your story, right? So, in planning your book, also, we will show you how you can set milestones to get to that 90 day through that 90-day timeline. And time management is going to be key because I know we live busy lives and people are doing so much. But at the end of the day, if this is a priority, then you know what? You want to put it on your schedule. Even if you have to spend maybe 30 minutes to an hour a day writing something, doing something along the lines of birthing your book out so the market, the world can receive it, right? So, also, we're going to dive into the writing. Now, some of you may already come and you may already have your manuscript in place, but some of you may still be writing your manuscript. So, wow, you're thinking like, okay, I can write my manuscript and get it into the market in 90 days. Is that even possible? Well, I always say it's up to you. It is up to you if you want to set this timeline of getting your book into the marketplace, which means it's going to take some work on your part to get it done. Or maybe you need a ghostwriter. Okay. And so that's something else we can look at is pretty much allowing a ghostwriter. I have people, they come up with their summaries, their concept, their ideas and stuff, but they really decide either I do not have the time to write it or I'm really not a writer. And so sometimes they need a little assistance. So that may be one of the services that they need to get is bringing someone in to actually ghostwrite their story for them. Now, with ghostwriters, they do not get the credit on your book. Pretty much there, it's a service that is offered to them, and they will come and, just as it says, ghost. You will never know who that person is, but at the end of the day, they're pulling your story from you in order to tell your story in your words, right? So all right, so let's look at some other things that you will get by just picking up the 90-day book creation. So we have the editing and the polishing process. So now in this process, this is so important, especially if you're self-editing, right? If you're going through this process, editing is always good. And I always say this because you are the closest to your story. So when you're writing your story, you want to make sure that hold on. Okay, so when you're writing your story, you want to make sure that the editing is correct because nobody really wants to get a book that has a bunch of issues and problems in it, right? They don't, because they'll return it in a heartbeat. They will send it back. And the thing is, you want to make sure you're not showing up in the world like that because you really want them to get the full essence of your story. And so, with that, pretty much it is important. And sometimes you may need to employ someone that can actually do the editing for you because remember, you are so close to your story that you see things that it should be, but it may not show up on the paper like that, right? So it's important to make sure you have the book go through editing, proofreading, and then also we'll talk about these things. We'll talk about getting reviews and feedback and also formatting. How do you format the book? Okay, because you submitted a manuscript in its raw state, 8.5 by 11. Now, you don't want your book to be that size. Your book has to be converted over into a size maybe 5.5 by 8.5 or 6 by 9, depending on the type of book that you're doing, the genre it may fall in. Then that book could be very well an 8.5 by 11, but you want the book to be formatted so it looks beautiful when someone gets it and they're able to read it and follow along, right? It won't have all your notes on the sideline. So also we take you through in step 5, we take you through the cover design and the layout also, right? So covers are very important. And the thing is, you can do the covers yourself, but we will talk about the importance of a professional cover. Now, keep this in mind. Anything you are looking to sell, think about the packaging. Even yourself, when you go and you purchase something, the first thing your eyes see is what? The outside package. Same thing with the cover. That is the first introduction to your consumer, to a customer, to a reader. They're going to pick your book up because it's something about that cover that drew them in. And they were like, wow, what is this book about? Right? So that's the first thing they're going to see. And then the next thing is, you know what? They're going to flip the book over because now they want to see what is going on inside this book. And so it's so important, the visual piece, because we're visual people. We see first before we actually decide to invest our monies. Okay. And so we're going to go through that. We're going to go through the DIY of creating your own covers. We're going to go through the difference between you doing it versus hiring a designer to do it. And then some key elements, also the typesetting for your interior and the tools that you may be able to use to create this very cover that you desire to have, right? So then we're going to break down formatting in different platforms on a whole different level. So with that, books come in various different platforms. Okay. It's not just the paperback book. It's not just the paperback book, books come in a hardcover format. Um, Books come in an ebook format. Books can come in an audio version format. So books can also now come in a format through podcasting and from that digital visual standpoint. So it's so amazing because I really teach on this. You have one story that you're creating, just one. This is one book, one story. But this book can create multiple revenue streams for you. And I might be getting ahead of myself because that is one of the chapters or one of the steps in the process, right? So, number 7, we're going to talk through. Number 7 is about pretty much the registration process, identifiers for your book. So you need to have an ISBN number, copywriting it, and the legalities of the ownership for your book, right? So we're going to get into all that, the purpose and the process of obtaining the ISBN number. Also understanding and registration for the copywriting, deciding and pricing for your royalties. Um, and then other things that you should really consider. And then we'll talk about some legalities because I always say you write it, you own it. When you wrote it, you owned it. So it's important to make sure you maintain and keep that right? Okay. So also, hey, if you guys are out there, because I'm just doing a whole lot of talking, telling you about what's going on with the 90-day book creation. And if you have a story, how you can get your book into the market in 90 days. But if you're out there and you're listening and you know what, you just want to ask questions in the comments, well, get your questions together because I will definitely take some questions at the end. All right. So we also talk about in step 8. Step 8 is choosing a publishing route. Do you want to do traditional publishing or do you want to go the self-publishing route? Or maybe you want to do hybrid publishing. So we're going to talk and break the 3 of those down for you so you get a full understanding of what that means and what might be the best route for you. Okay? And so and then also, do I need an agent for my book? We're going to get into all that. So that's why it's so important that if you don't and you need a resource and a tool, that you pick up your copy. So, and in the process, you know what I'm going to do also? Let me just add to the screen. I want to just add up here the QR code because you know what? There. I'll keep that up. So if you are interested, just scan the code and you can actually start your process, your journey. All right. And so let's look at step 9. So now that you have this book in place, right? You are holding your baby in your hand or you're going through the publishing process to get your book in your hand. It's more than just that, getting your story out of you. Now, what about launching your book and marketing your book? So that's what we talk about in step 9, being able to launch the book so the world can receive your story. And let's talk about it. Okay. And also, from the marketing standpoint, pretty much you want to be able to show or let people know why your book is so important and why they should get it. Because listen, we're in an industry right now, or we're in a world right now. Everybody's writing and sharing their stories. There's so many books in the market. It's not just about the traditional publishing houses anymore that we knew of, that it was so hard to even get a manuscript into their hands because they do not take unsolicited material. You have to have an agent, so that is such a hard route. But you know what? Even on that route, we talk about that they own your intellectual property now, not you. So we talk about how you can retain and keep your rights. But in step 9, from the marketing standpoint, launching and marketing your book, it is so important. Now we have the platforms, the social media platforms, so we talk about that also. Building a team that can really help you get your book into the market and also into the hands of your readers. Now I want you to keep this in mind because a lot of times people do not have disposable income that they could just say, oh, I'm going to drop thousands and thousands of dollars to do this. So, how can you do it more efficient and effective and still get the impact that you're looking for? Well, we talk about that, but I'm going to be honest. Some things are not in this book. You have to come and sit in the session with us so we can really break it down and really have that hands-on experience, and you could talk about it. We could talk about it together. And so with that, um okay, you know what, y'all? I just realized I lost my Instagram feed. So I know you guys are out there. So it is popping over if you are able to leave messages. All right. So let me get back. Let me stay focused. So we leverage, you know what? Even when I think about this, marketing, I use this platform, Morning Brew, as a platform for marketing and promoting. That's why Fridays are important, because Fridays is the spotlight when I can bring an author in a studio and we can spotlight them and we can really get into the tea of their story in their book and their journey to get their book into the marketplace. So, even thinking about, and sometimes you got to think out the box when it comes to marketing. You got to know your brand and you need to know who is your customer that you're going for. That's important. But marketing is key, because this is what I say. Publishing, what we do as publishers, we get your book into the marketplace. So now through distribution, the book is available so people can go and get your book. Marketing is what gets the book from the distribution channels into the hands of the readers, your consumers. So that's why marketing is important. So leverage and use your relationships, leverage your network, your contact list, leverage your social media platform. And you know what? Depending on your book, you may want to start a group, or you may want to start doing lives and interviews, or just having discussions and allowing people to be invited into those discussions, right? So, but once again, this platform, my platform, it allows me to have a vehicle that we can talk about different discussions. And you know what? It's Morning Brew, but it's all centered around stories. It's all centered around storytelling, right? So, all right, so let's get into what is step 10. So, step 10 is the post launch and beyond. So, this we gather reviews. You want people to respond. If people are buying your book from off of Amazon, it is so important that you make sure people leave a review so others can read, but also it helps to shift the algorithm so your book can become one of the things that now Amazon is promoting. So reviews are very important. All right, keeping the momentum going. Marketing is key, like I said. And then also beyond, what are some other formats you want your book to hit the market with? So maybe you start out with just a paperback and an ebook, but then, as time goes by and people are really taken to your book, then maybe you want to offer your book in a hard case. Or as time is going by, maybe you want to now make it available as an audiobook. So, yes, you want to look at the different formats that can help get your book into the hands of your readers, because one, not everybody has the time or even want to pick up a physical copy of a book and be able to find time to read it. They would probably just rather get it on the go through an audiobook. Or while they're lounging on vacation, they may just want to read their digital device, your ebook. So you want to consider all those things. All right. And so also, number 11. So in number 11, God Rising, love you. Thank you so much. So thank you for your comments. All right. So in step 11, we talk about concept to income. Concept to income. So, from pages to profits, this is a brief overview that we go through, setting realistic expectations, pretty much launching strategies, online platforms, and diversifying with audiobooks and podcasts, ancillary products, and spinoffs. So, Gerard, love you too, sis. Okay. So listen. So now, Concept to Income is another book that I'm working on also, because now that you have your product in place, people want to know, how do I make money from it? That's why you did it, right? Is that part of your why? Okay. Not just to get the information out there, but a part of your why could be, uh, I need to make some money from all this hard work. So we talk about that. Okay. And so also, step 12. All right. So we are bringing this to a close. So in step 12, we introduce AI to the 90-day book generation. I'm going to say this to you all. If you are afraid of AI and you really don't want to be bothered with it, that's not the right answer. Okay. So, what I want to say to you is if you're uncomfortable and unsure about it, then that's more of a reason for you to connect with us and sit in on our sessions because AI is not going anywhere. And what we do, we'll be able to show you how you can effectively use AI for what it is that you do. All right. And how AI can be the best research partner for you. But there's work you have to do. Okay. And so, but we do get into that. And believe it or not, you may be using AI and don't even realize you're using it on your phone devices right now. Everything, you see it everywhere. So I want to say embrace it, do not run from it. You just have to know ways of how you can use it to generate your revenue from it. So that we will talk really in detail about. So you want to register and come on board so we could talk about it. And then just to break this all down, we do a final conclusion when we reflect on your 90-day journey, your lifelong goals as an author, also encouraging continued growth and exploration, and the empowerment of becoming an author. All right. And so, what you'll find there is an appendix in this book. There's checklists, there's sample outlines, there's resources and tools that's going to help you on this journey if you decide that you want to do it on your own and you just want to self publish your own book. So, definitely, this is a book that I encourage you pick up and you read, okay? And allow it to help you along your journey. And like I said, we also have the complimentary journal to go along with it. So you keep everything in one place. So, like I said, you can just scan the QR code that's been on the screen up in the corner, or you can just go straight to the website, and that link is on the page also. So now, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask. Or, you know what? Maybe you're thinking about it and you say, you know what? I can hit you up. But yes, you can hit me up later. Let me just put in the chat where you can send me an email. Okay. If you have any questions and you want to be a part of this process, or you want to use this system to be able to help you along your 90-day book journey, we're here. Or if you just say, listen, I just need a coach and a partner, I just put it in a chat so everyone will be able to see it. And then also, I'll add it on the screen how you can reach out and email me as well. And so, hold on. Let me just type this in real quick. You can email me at hopeofvision at gmail.com. Hopeofvision at gmail.com. And let me give you the opportunity there. So if you want to just hit me up, drop a line, or if you just want to hit me in my DMs for the different platforms that you may be watching this on, you can do that also. In the description, I always put all the different platforms. I encourage everybody to go over to YouTube and make sure you subscribe. Subscribe to the YouTube channel Hope of Vision Connect so you could be a part of the community, and you can catch up on some of the other coffee breaks. Okay. All right. So, with that, I just want to thank you all for chiming in. I hope you learned something today just for your own personal self. If the 90-day book creation is a resource that can really help you, then it is available to you. The system, the book, whichever way you decide you want to go, it is here for you. And if you have some questions and you want to schedule a next step meeting with me, then you could do that also on the website, which is Hope of Vision. I'll just put that on the screen for you so you can have access to the website if you just want to Stop in, see some of the other books we've published. Maybe you may want to invest in some of those books, but it's there for you. And so, with that, thank you so much. Thank you guys for tuning in, being a part of my community, helping to build this community. Listen, I am someone that loves to hear people's stories. And then I'm also someone that helps to push those stories out so they can get into the marketplace. So I know you have a story. You know you have a story. So you just need a coach and a guide. So we're here. So why don't you just come over? Hey, we're family. Why don't you just come over and say, listen, I need your help? Okay, we can take it from there. We can start right there. All right. But once again, thank you. Thank you for chiming in. Thank you for being a part of this conversation and dialogue. Hey, I'm going to just read a few of the quotes. My brother chimed in. Love is love. Yes. Love him, my brother, my partner, and some of my other businesses. All right. So, Diana, thank you again because I know she has a copy of the book. And like she said, it's very easy to read and it's easy to follow the instructions. Yes, it is. I didn't want to make this hard for you. I'm sorry. I know my Instagram, I don't know how I deleted out my Instagram. So if people are still watching and chiming in, thank you for your comments in the community. But here we are, and we are about to sign off. Today's Friday, so enjoy your weekend. Stay safe, be blessed, and think about that story that you need to share with the world. Okay. All right. I'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend and have fun, whatever it is you decide to do. But be safe. Talk to you soon. Bye.